Senator Lee gives important info on state law versus federal law. Before I get into the report, if this is your first time here at ICE Enterprises, subscribe down there below and just hit the notification because we don't want you to miss any new reports. Alright, so this comes from Forbes Breaking News. Senator Lee is grilling Clark, one of Biden's picks, on voter ID laws. However, there's some really good important information about state law versus fed law. Check this out, Patriots.
To adopt more stringent air quality standards than the federal standards in place without receiving pre-clearance from the United States government?
Senator, this is not an area that I work in, I suppose, but this is not an area that I work in.
Yeah, what about areas that are protected by the Bill of Rights? Let's suppose that a state wants to pass laws dealing with COVID-19 that might have the impact of restricting religious freedom by, for example, restricting the number of people who may congregate in a church or otherwise. Should laws like that have to first receive pre-clearance before they can be enacted by a state?
Well, Senator, I'm here to talk about the right to vote, which falls to the 14th and 15th Amendments, and Congress has broad powers to enforce.
And I assume you'd also agree that through the 14th Amendment, Congress also has broad powers to protect other fundamental individual rights, including religious freedom. What about the Second Amendment? What about gun laws? Should a state be required to receive pre-clearance from federal officials before adopting gun restrictions?
This is not an area that I work in the Civil Rights Division, but I do know that the right to vote is unique, it's special, and it's something that the Supreme Court has routinely said that Congress has broad enforcement powers under the 14th and 15th Amendments to protect.
Sure, and those broad powers also extend to other rights that people have. Now, I think that it's important for us to remember that our nation is built on this principle of respect for the sovereign entities that our states are, and for the ability of each sovereign state, for the people, through their elected representatives, to be able to adopt laws that they deem fit. Because, of course, the sovereigns in our republic are, in fact, the people. The people have yielded some of their sovereignty up to the states. In other areas, they've yielded it to the federal sovereign. The Supreme Court of the United States has made this very clear in a number of cases over the years, including the Supreme Court ruling in the Shelby County case, in which the Supreme Court of the United States said, quote, "The federal government does not have a general right to review and veto state enactments before they go into effect." In fact, the Founding Fathers considered and expressly, decidedly rejected giving the federal government the power to provide what they refer to as a negative or a veto over any and all state laws. So we don't advocate for pre-clearance, even in areas surrounding our constitutional rights and the constitutional rights belonging to individuals. You know, if the laws passed by a state happen to violate the Constitution, we do, of course, have a procedure in place for challenging those. They go to the federal judiciary. The parties can litigate those. After, of course, the constitutional arguments are made to the legislative body considering them. If they fail there, they can raise them with the judiciary.
Yeah, that's really good. We got Senator Mike Lee. He is a patriot and he is legit. Support him. From ICE Enterprises, I'm ICE. Have a great night. Hey, before you go, check out one of my new series called Investigation into Mainstream Media's COVID Coverage. I did this early in 2020, and I think you'll get a lot of information from it.